Did you see what happened over the weekend over in Newark, New Jersey? Now, full disclosure, I'm not really a UFC fan. Surprise, surprise. I'm really not. But Donald Trump is. And he was there over the weekend and got this just tremendous reception from the people. I think that this is saying something, right? Because it's in Newark, New Jersey, not too far from where he was just torched in New York City. But take a look here at the crowd going wild. We don't have the audio, but you can see the excitement. You see that excitement. And Trump's waving out. He's just getting this outpouring of support. People are holding up Trump signs. Really just tremendous reception from people. Incredible to see. And then this was really incredible to see because Kevin Holland, who's a UFC fighter, he won his fight. And at the end of the fight, just as, he's finishing the guy off and he staggers up, he can barely stand. Let's go to this video. And you see him just sort of making his way over to the side of the ring. And it's really something. Where does he go? He goes straight to Donald Trump. He actually literally climbs out of the ring and kneels down and shakes his hand. And it's just interesting. I mean, interesting to see this level of support. I don't think that Joe Biden would get anything close to that. And certainly Joe Biden would get nothing close to the $200 million that was just raised. Oops, I gave it away. I mean, an enormous amount of cash was just raised. The most the RNC has gotten. It's really incredible to think that, Biden, I mean, he couldn't even come close to this. They did some 70 million, I believe, in just mom and pop donations. And then there were big donations actually from a lot of tech entrepreneurs. Interestingly enough, we talked about Elon Musk maybe going to the White House with Donald Trump. Let's go to Eric Trump, who was on Maria Bartiromo's show on Fox over the weekend, and hear his view on it.
This might be a little inside information, but as I was leaving my house about 37 seconds ago, I asked my wife, what are we up to now? And she said, just in terms of small dollar, we're well over $70 million. This is $21 donations, $43 donations, right? Small dollar donations. If you add the large dollar donations to it, you're over $200 million, but you're over $70 million. And by the way, Maria, wow. 30% of those people have never been seen before by a political party, right? I mean, these are Americans who are pissed off. They're coming out of the woodwork, and they want to support a guy that they just believe is getting bamboozled by a system. And we saw it with impeachment 1. We saw it with impeachment 2. We see it where they weaponize every liberal DA and AG across the country with one intent, to take him down, to slander him, to ruin his reputation, to try and divide his family, to try and bankrupt him, to throw him in jail, to do whatever the hell they can do. And America sees through it. They know exactly what's going on.
Incredible. So it's a lot of money, guys. It's a lot of money. I mean, Joe Biden is going to have to hold a lot of fancy dinners to even come close to that, all right? So that's good news for Donald Trump. And then when you look at the polls that are coming out, they're not showing a seismic shift of any. I mean, I'm looking at them, and I'm looking at the spin, too, because there's always spin, right? The left-wing media trying to spin these things. Here's a Reuters Ipsos poll, and they're trying to say, and you have to do like a double take when you read this headline. It's exclusive. 1 in 10 Republicans less likely to vote for Trump after guilty verdict. This is according to their poll. But then when you look down deep into the poll, you actually see the majority of Republicans are still voting for Donald Trump. And by the way, the support that he's getting amongst the base just went through the roof, right? Anybody who was thinking of voting for him before now wants to vote for him even more. In terms of the 10%, I'm betting those were Nikki Haley supporters anyway, right? They were the people that were kind of on the fence. And then you have to think about how they're phrasing these questions, right? When you call up and say, hey, are you willing to vote for a convicted felon? And that's what they want to play over and over and over again, the convicted felon thing. In fact, Alex Soros, who's the son of George Soros, had a tweet when this whole thing came out. And he said, we need to keep hitting the convicted felon thing over and over and over and over again. Don't even refer to him by name. Just keep saying convicted felon, because that's how they think they're going to win. The problem with that is, as all of this seeps in and people say, gee, maybe this was kind of a sham trial. Maybe this whole financial misdemeanor thing, which, by the way, was kind of hard to prove in and of itself, getting escalated to a felony when they can't even define the actual crime. Maybe that is a problem.